The Fast and the Furious. Seems odd to have the in it. No. Okay. The Fast and the Furious is a 2001 racing action film directed by Rob Cohen, who went on to direct the Triple X movies. And this movie also launched its two leading roles, Paul Walker and Vin Diesel, into sort of stardom for the first time. This marks my first time ever watching a Fast and Furious movie. Probably the reason for that is that I have zero interest in cars. My girlfriend knows more about cars than I do. She sees a car and she can tell you everything about it. I can tell you the colour. I'm quite proud of that. I can tell you the colour. She'll tell you the make, the model, and I can't even tell you if the make and the model are even the same thing. Well, I guess they're the same thing. So that's why I was so pleasantly surprised to find that The Fast and the Furious isn't just a movie for people that like cars. It's just a good movie in general. For those who like action more than story, admittedly. What did you expect from a Fast and Furious movie? Even I knew it was mostly going to be about cars that go very fast, and very fast they do go. Paul Walker plays Brian O'Connor, an undercover FBI agent who has been tasked by the FBI to find the identity of a group of people that are stealing from moving cargo trucks millions of dollars worth of electronics, and all he knows about them is that they have 3 Honda Civics. Well, I'm sure that means something to someone, but to me it just means they have cars. Whilst posing as a street racer, Paul Walker meets Dominic Toretto, played by Vin Diesel, and in doing so he becomes friends with him by rescuing him from the police after a drag race. He then begins to infiltrate Vin Diesel's little group, which includes his sister, played by Jordana Brewster, who serves as the love interest for Paul Walker, and Vin Diesel's girlfriend, Michelle Rodriguez, who plays sort of a tough girl pub. All she really does is pout and frown, so all power to her, I guess. I've already mentioned that Jordana Brewster's character is the love interest for Paul Walker, so I'm not spoiling anything by saying that Paul Walker inevitably gets closer to Vin Diesel's group. And this leads to conflict later when it becomes clear that it's actually most likely Dominic Toretto's group that is doing these crimes, and that puts Paul Walker in a sort of tricky position because he's going to have to choose between his career and his new friends. Yeah, it's not original, but what did you expect? It's cold. So there's your basic plot, and in all honesty it's just there so that you can have an excuse for action sequences. But to its credit, despite the corny dialogue, it is still competent and it's interesting enough to keep you invested. I'm completely okay with it just being an excuse for action sequences, because the action sequences in this movie are incredible. Seriously, even the first race in this movie, which is just 3 guys in cars going down a street, it's incredible. Everyone's all around, the atmosphere's built up, Paul Walker's made out to be the underdog, and he's got his car on the line with the pink slip, I guess they call it. The race is literally just to drive in a straight line for a quarter mile down LA. And the way that just this first race is filmed is really exhilarating because the camera's going in between the cars, zapping between them. The backgrounds are all blurred really unrealistically, but that's fine because it looks good, it's stylized, it's colourful. I heard that Rob Cohen actually asked the people that own the houses to paint them a slightly dimmer colour in order to make the colourful cars stand out more, and that was a good choice. Just a fast movement of the camera with not too many cuts, and just the stupid inside of the cars. They look more like cockpits and, you know, driver's seats with all the buttons. And there are even these buttons in the car which you press on the steering wheel, and then the NOS kicks in, and it's basically a boost in the back with big flames spurting out the back of the car, and then the backgrounds go crazy. They're in the seat like, oh. It all adds up to an initial race which is short, sweet, heavily stylized, just exciting in general. So I'm not going to spend too long talking about the plot because I've told you the basics, and sort of what you see is what you get. All there is to say really is that it's serviceable and it provides decent context for the action that goes on around it, and that's fine with me. I will say though that Vin Diesel does a good job at being he's a stereotypical, you know, leader, hard man sort of thing, but he does a good job. I like Vin Diesel. Paul Walker does a satisfactory job. He's not terrible, he's not great, he's not the leading man to end all leading men, but he does a good job, and it's a shame to highlight that because obviously he's recently passed and apparently he was a nice guy, but it's just the way it is. Jordana Brewster does a fine job at being the love interest. I genuinely thought she was good, and Michelle Rodriguez is the tough girl. You know, she's sort of typecast as that now, and she pouts. It's good to see a strong female character in a obviously male-oriented movie. It'd be nice if her only defining characteristic wasn't her strength, and even then, it's only her strength because she's a woman, and you don't really expect that from these sort of movies. Which is a shame, but it's just the way it is. Back to the action, the final part of the movie, and this isn't a spoiler, it's a movie about cars racing and often crashing. The end sequence is, not surprisingly, a car chase, and it involves this huge truck going down this huge highway which doesn't have a single turn, no traffic, completely ridiculous. And these guys are hijacking it, they're pulling up and they're shooting their grappling hook through the window, and the truck driver's got a shotgun. The guy is falling off and he's got it all wrapped around his arm, there's all blood everywhere, and they're all trying to pull along and save him. I've heard it compared to The Road Warrior, and when I watched it I wasn't thinking that, but looking back on it, it really is sort of not to that level. Reminiscent of the final chase in the Mad Max The Road Warrior. And that's a fantastic chase. That's a great thing to be compared to. It really is a great send-off for the movie. And all of this movie is really quite exciting. All the action sequences. There's another one in the middle somewhere. No, nearing the end, where there's these bikers and they're shooting back, and then Paul Walker's got a gun and he's firing back. It's just great. It's just fun. The only parts of this movie which are really slow, which is ironic for the title, but you know, is the mid-section where the plot comes to the forefront, and it's competent, but it's not what I want the movie to be focused on. But I understand why it has to be, so it gets a sort of pass, I guess. It's not bad, it's not great, it's just in the middle, it's good. So that's The Fast and the Furious. It's a movie with an average plot that does a fine job, some good actors, some okay actors, some really great action segments which are wound around this plot and give it some more meaning, give it some more oomph if you want. And in the end it really brings up the film and it makes it a very enjoyable watch. It doesn't outstay its welcome at any point. And for that I give The Fast and Furious a 7 out of 10. So I really hope you enjoyed this review. If you disagree with me, go ahead and comment and, you know, lay it into me, I guess. I'm used to it. If you enjoyed it, please like the video because I'm going to be doing a lot more of these, and if you want to see those, I'd also appreciate it if you subscribed, and I am not going to disappoint you. Unless I hate a movie you like. It could happen. So that's it guys, and I'll see you next time. And here we